A hallmark of Alliance churches is that we take time every year to emphasize missions. And this year's theme is connected to our vision statement, all of Jesus for all the world. It's essentially a call back to the basics of what Jesus is about in this world and how we participate in that activity. When we look at that familiar passage, Matthew 28, the Great Commission, we see the word all show up 4 different times for 4 important reasons.
When we think about the uses of the word all in those verses, what jumps out at you? Jesus said, all authority has been given to me. And at the end, he said, and I'm with you always. All authority, always. This reminds us that the era of the Great Commission was what Jesus was opening up when he spoke to his disciples. And it reminds us that we still live in that era. The second 2 uses of the word all are about all the nations, all the peoples to whom God calls us. And he asks us to make disciples who obey all that he commands, real committed disciples of Jesus amongst all the peoples of the world. Now, we still live in that same Great Commission age. It's the same person, Jesus, with the same purpose of seeing these disciples made. But in each chapter of this Great Commission era, what ministry needs to look like can change. When we think of those peoples of the world, we want to remember that the least reached are least reached because it's hard to reach them. Today, if we want to make disciples amongst the nations, we probably had better come to serve. We had better come to help communities and to lean into what they perceive the real needs to be. And as bridges of trust are built that can support the weight of truth, we are able to make disciples, multiply disciples, and see the church multiplied so that, like us, new believers in Jesus become those who turn around and take the gospel still further. This is what Jesus is asking us to do in this part of the era where we live.
There's one more all that doesn't show up explicitly in the text, but it's inferred, and its meaning is very important because it prompts a response from us.
At the beginning of the passage, Jesus called the disciples together for what he wanted to say. And we're told there that not all of them, when they gathered, believed. Well, the resurrected Jesus is standing there. It's not that they didn't believe he'd come alive from the dead. Acts chapter 1 tells us that some of them asked, is this the time you're going to set up your kingdom? And Jesus was saying, no. I'm introducing a new era that's about all peoples of earth having the opportunity to hear this good news. It's because we live in that era that we've received the gospel, the good news, the transforming power of what Jesus has done in our lives. And it's because we live in that era that he wants to use us to take it still further.
So let's lean into that what if question together. What if more of us engaged? What if more of our lives were surrendered to Jesus? What if the passion for missions was stirred up in us? We know the answer. More missionaries are sent, more churches are planted, more people come to know Jesus. So let's lean into this what if as an Alliance family throughout this year as we emphasize missions activity in our churches. And thanks for doing it. Thanks for taking the time and all the expressions that it'll take from small groups to big services to emphasize the work of Jesus in the world. When the Alliance family leans in together, things happen because Jesus is in our midst and we're expectant to see what he'll do again.